It is 5:31 on the East Coast, Daylight Standard Time. It is 2:30 on the West Coast, same thing. It is the 5th of November in the year of our Lord 2023, Season 5, Episode 15, 180 times you have been welcomed to the Cheap Popcast, your one-stop shop for all things professional wrestling, live from many remote locations all at the same time. We're running a little bit late tonight, but that's because we get to talking sometimes and we don't pay attention to the time. It's a lot different when we were in a studio because we were all there together and we have been plagued with tech issues and everything else today. So we're going to get through this thing, people. We're going to get through it together. Welcome. My name is Rob. I am the executive producer of the Cheap Popcast. And dear sweet baby Jesus, we are going to actually skate at full strength if it kills me. Over there, that's my co-host. And is that, I think that is an Undertaker Roosevelt shirt he is wearing. He is Alex.
It is. It is actually one of the birthday gifts from the parents. So I wanted to make sure to show it off while being on air. But it is the full Ministry of Darkness Undertaker Roosevelt shirt.
Shout out.
Yeah. And we're not saying that we need free stuff from them, but they have good quality stuff. And I don't mind getting it without paying.
No free ads.
No free.
At the bottom of your screen is the official fact checker of Sooner or Gator Productions. And a man whose leader has some explaining to do on multiple fronts. You may know him as Zig Bunu, but his mama named him Don Ford. I'm going to call him Don Ford. Hey, man.
I do have a couple leaders, but I guess we'll get into that.
It's the one that's on your shirt, bro.
Well, I thought maybe there was some six-man tag thing. He's one of my leaders, too. Yeah.
I just want
I want it. You got Dalton Castle.
Oh, we'll get to that.
That's what I'm saying. I thought maybe
I'm going to re-ask the question I asked last week. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We will talk about Crown Jewel, but we do things on this show sequentially. So in order for us to be able to tell the full story of the week, since Crown Jewel was yesterday, we will talk about that at the end of the show. They did announce that tickets for Elimination Chamber will go on sale this Friday. There was one detail missing that I was waiting to see and never did. When does it start?
Now, to full disclosure, I did some back-end research. I looked into the venue, and they don't have anything either. I don't know if there has been a time set, which is insane.
I can't even blame math because there's no math for me to do. All I know is that they are 13 hours ahead of us. That's all I got. So if that's a 7 o'clock start time, that is 6 a.m. in the Central Time Zone, people.
If live.
I find it hard to believe it's not going to be live because we live in a day and age where
the internet.
It has to be.
No, and I agree with you on that one. But I've seen some dumb decisions made by wrestling companies of late.
If it is, slumber party and we watch it in our pajamas. Could you guys know how much I love the Elimination Chamber? You guys know how much I love that pay-per-view. Plea, whatever the heck you want to call it. I almost cussed. That's how worked up I am today.
Mm-hmm. Well, when is the plea? It's December,
the end of February, and there is no March plea. If
so
in the promo, they said the last plea before WrestleMania. So there is nothing in the month of March.
So here's the thing. If they start with now the time change of the spring ahead for fall back, it is now, if they start this at 7 their time, it will start at 5 a.m. Central.
Do they not change time?
What?
Do they not have daylight standard and daylight
saving?
No,
they don't.
Oh, that's new information. So yeah, now it's 5 a.m.
Yeah, if they start at 7 p.m. there, it starts 5 a.m. here, 6 a.m. Eastern, so forth. Do the math. So let's say they started at
the way to do it.
Yeah,
would be to start at 10 a.m. their time, which would be 8 p.m. our time.
Yeah.
Actually,
more.
Here's the crazy part. 3/5 of the states within Australia acknowledge daylight savings time. 2 do not. So I think Perth stays static because it's Western Australia. So if they were in Sydney, there would be daylight savings, but because it's in Perth, there is not.
So now, yeah, between East, it's
so much.
It's a 14-hour difference between Perth and Central.
So it's almost like they're going to have to do it at like
midday.
9 p.m. their time, which would be 7 a.m. Or 10 a.m. their time, which would be 8 p.m. our time. They would have to do it like Alex and I were talking last week, kind of like UFC did when they went live in Australia, where it was like a lunchtime start for them and it was prime time here. That's really the only way this works.
For US, they might say, we're going
to... America.
I understand
America.
But Perth could say, hey, it's our house. We're going to tell you what time.
And they could tell them we're going to move this show.
I'll tell you what. If they start this at 7 p.m. or I'll give you an hour on either side. If they start this plea in Perth anywhere from 6 to 8 p.m. local time, I will give you $20.
Okay.
Because there is no way in hell that happens. No way in hell. If Crown Jewel starts at a reasonable time for them, 7 p.m., which was noon here,
there is confirm nor deny that I just bookmarked this moment in the show.
Yes, we did.
Do that now on StreamYard, by the way.
I just did.
We need to find a way to put this on our TikTok. If that happens, Don, and I'll give you an hour on either side. Yeah. Local time, not America time.
Yeah, Perth time.
No.
I will give you $20. If it happens between 6 and 8 p.m. as a start time in Perth, I will give you $20.
Okay.
No pun intended. There's no way in hell that happens. Not with the American market. It's not possible. Until somebody listens to this show and does it just to spite me. But that's a whole different set of questions.
And they could say, well, they'll start at 7 o'clock and then they'll wait a 3-hour delay. But then, of course, the internet anyways.
They'll start at 8:01 and Don gets nothing.
Now, just to clarify, is it the main card that is the time that we're judging by or the kickoff?
When the plea begins.
When the plea proper begins. Okay, we
have
established parameters.
The actual start of the...
Correct. Yeah. Although we did have a pre-show match last night, and I didn't tune in time, so I didn't see it.
It was actually pretty good, but McDonough's not feeling well.
We'll get there.
But we'll talk about that later.
But I will say last night, they also did announce that they will be opening the WWE Experience in Riyadh in January, which is kind of what seems like what they've been trying to do at Orlando City Walk for years and never been able to pull off. So
God, I hope that's not where their brick and mortar Hall of Fame winds up.
1 week from Wednesday, November 15th, mark your calendar, not just because that's when I get my second shingles vaccine because I'm 50 now. That night, Celebrity Jeopardy will have the Becky Lynch. So
I'll be interested in this.
Yes. And we had the thing with Ivar and the thing and the vignette and the thing. And I was like, where's the other half of War Machine? Well, Eric apparently is undergoing neck fusion surgery with an unknown timetable to return. So we want to give so we love War Machine on this show. We're big fans. We want Eric to have a very speedy recovery.
Now, the full respect to the powers that be when it comes to Raw, because the idea was it was going to be New Day versus War Machine. Then all of it came down of, he can't go. And they were going to pull it. New Day said, why not make it a singles match and give this guy a shot? And that's how this started. So respect all around for giving Ivar the single shot and impressing.
Speaking of the New Day, the new Judgment Day, that was enough for me. If they had just done that, it was worth mentioning on this show. Kofi's briefcase with the miniature contract inside put that way over the top for me. I was like, these guys have been doing this bit now for what, a decade and a half almost?
Almost.
And they still keep coming up with these brilliant ideas.
You know what my favorite part of that is?
Score. I was like, that's the ceiling. You can't do better than that because that was amazing. And then they were like, no, hold my beer or hold my Chinese food to go container.
Well, no, that's what I was going to say. My favorite part of all that, that's the container they give talent in catering. It's literally the catering takeaway container.
I lost my mind.
And if you go back and watch it, watch our boy Priest having to turn away from the camera because he can't keep a straight face.
That was amazing. I was also shocked to find out Seth hadn't wrestled on Raw in 4 months. That was a strange stat for me.
Yeah, I feel like that one needed to be fact checked because it didn't sound right.
I mean, he's been on the show multiple times, but you go back and you figure, okay, so that's going to be June, which probably would have been right around Money in the Bank. I mean, it made sense. It's just like, again, time's a construct, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that's another one of those where the quote is misapplied. I feel like it's inaccurate, but it's like more like a title defense hasn't happened or something to make it a euchre fact, because I can't believe he wouldn't have wrestled more recently.
Don, any thoughts? You're called kind of quiet down there.
Nah, on that one, no.
I will let you know, Don, I finally finished all of the chocolates you brought back for me.
Oh, okay.
Finally finished those 2 days ago.
It's good stuff too.
Oh, it was great stuff.
Yeah, real Cadbury.
And your birthday present's still sitting over there in the guest room.
Well, we got to figure out, there's a big major coming up. Maybe we'll get together at that point. And
I'm pretty sure we'll probably see each other at least before then.
I know, but I'm thinking at the latest.
He's talking about more for an event that is ours.
Oh, okay.
No, Don, I was defending you. Don't ruin it.
Okay.
The Iron Survivor Challenge announced to return for Deadline in December for NXT because this was week 2 of Halloween Havoc, which is why I had my Halloween Havoc shirt on last week. No, actually, I wore it on Halloween. I actually wore it at work. I was in meetings with that logo on my shirt, and because that's how I roll. And congratulations to Gigi Dolan and the Zach Wentz, who got engaged on a Disney cruise on Halloween. So,
congratulations.
Yeah, cut to the Dolph Ziggler meme of everybody saying it should have been me.
Some show notes from NXT. Again, this was night 2. By the way, 2 belts move on night 1, no belts move on night 2. This was me all the way through NXT.
Like I said, do we have to?
With the way night 1 went, night 2 at least should have been better than it was. We did find out that Dominic's crime was luscious mullet.
No! Okay, that was pretty funny to me.
Did not see Lola Vice winning the breakout tournament.
I sadly, that's exactly who I expected to win it because reasons. It's just low-hanging fruit at this point. The only person in that tournament that I wanted to win was Ariana Grace, but that's a bias.
She would only win it for all of the times.
Exactly.
That's all I got for NXT.
Now, before we get off of NXT, I mentioned earlier, I take issue with them saying there's no March plea. I think they're going to put another NXT plea in there.
You know what I want?
I think
I'm going to put it out there to the universe because they keep taking them anyway. Give me Spring Stampede.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
One of the craziest moments in WCW history. Spring Stampede, 4 corners match for the world title. They put it on DDP because Sting got his knee broken by Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're saying, they got January 27th as the Rumble, February 24th is the Perth show.
Uh-huh.
So, yes, they may do one pre-WrestleMania like that week, but do they want to put something? You're talking about 6 weeks. Are they going to try to?
You're probably going to get Stand and Deliver. will probably be your NXT plea, but they're saying there will not be a main roster plea between a Slim and Elimination Chamber and Mania, which normally you would get Fastlane in there so you could shore up the rest of the card, but they're like, nope. So it'll probably end up being Stand and Deliver, which
actually, but they do that before night one, and they have enjoyed doing that because it's another money grab during Mania. Plus, think about how many venues you have in the Philadelphia area.
Yeah, that was frustrating for us, though, because we had to leave early.
That's also true.
They do have Deadline on December 9th. That is NXT.
Yeah. No. But that's what we're talking about actually being in March. And I feel like they're going to do it right in the middle of March and do something almost St. Patrick's Day related.
I would like to make a prediction. It will be the weekend before the tournament. Because they won't go up against the dance.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is that it'll be right in the middle before St. Patrick's Day, which is traditionally a starting point for the March Madness tournament.
Give me Spring Stampede. Let's see here. Some instability in William Patrick Corrigan land. Last week on this show, we talked about the announcement of NWA striking a deal with the CW. They had their pay-per-view last Saturday night, and apparently there was a segment with Father James, what's his name, where they may or may not have intimated at cocaine use, and apparently the CW not exactly thrilled with that. Corrigan saying he was told the executives would not be watching the pay-per-view because that's not the content they would be carrying. And now the rumor is, excuse me, boy, I took too much air in that time. The rumor is it might just end up going to the CW app, which is kind of a break even. You're on YouTube now.
Yeah. Well, did you see the video from the pay-per-view?
I did not.
Don?
No, I didn't.
I had to go through like 7 hours of wrestling yesterday, so I wasn't watching anything extra.
I just want to clarify. There was no intimating. There was a table of cocaine, and it was not subtle. Now, if it was going to be anybody within that company, you're like, Father James. Oh, wait, that makes it probably real.
Yeah, allegedly.
But it was a bad decision.
Oh. NWA in the last 5 to 6 years not known for the best decisions on planet Earth.
Tyrus, excuse me. Sorry, I had something stuck in my throat.
They took away the membership I had so I could watch the pay-per-views.
That's also another one.
It's a horrible idea because I was watching those pay-per-views and I never got my t-shirt that I was supposed to get for a yearly membership.
Bait and switch.
So if you were wondering about Flair showing up on AEW Dynamite, he had signed a 2-year deal. However,
he said it was 3
originally, but he backed it down and said,
okay. I missed the second part.
Yes. But this is a very interesting thing. People are likening this to Savage's deal with Slim Jim when he came in. Because they are making his Woo energy drink the official energy drink of AEW, the energy drink company is expected to absorb most of his salary.
So that is the most lackadaisical I've ever heard anybody say woo.
Well, there's 2 reasons. One, I think it's a really dumb name. And
I
2,
agree.
I didn't want to blow you guys' ears out with the actual woo.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's this whole concept of like, as one of the biggest AEW defenders for the longest time,
as am I,
this is going badly. Well, I didn't want to lump you into what I was about to say. So
this is going, and I stand for that.
Yeah, this is going so badly, and it's now getting to the point where I genuinely question whether or not Tony Khan has a plan anymore, because it seems to be he'll see something on the other channel, so to speak, and try to propagate it. Because it's like, oh, they got Logan Paul and Prime. Let's find an energy drink that may or may not be desperate.
And I was looking at first of all, it's like $27 for a 6-pack.
Yeah.
No.
Ow.
Secondly, I can't. I can't differentiate what the flavors are because I couldn't read it on the picture that I read. All I could see was mushroom enhanced. Hard pass. Because I know what Flair's into right now, and that concerns me.
You know when you do something and Mike Tyson goes, "That's a bad idea, bro." That's probably where you need to run.
There was an announcement this week on Dynamite that if you are, I don't know, maybe named Don Ford and trying to do something again, All In 2024 tickets go on sale December 1st, but you can go to the All In website for the UK and you can get in early. Not like today early, but you'll get them before the public does. So, Don, I say that for you in case you guys are going to plan on doing that again. This is for you.
I appreciate that. But
and
more
he was there. It's right about here.
Okay. I would be honest with you. I would love to go again, but it's, we got Nigeria next year, which is more important.
Absolutely. So, absolutely.
Yeah. Meet my father-in-law for the first time, that kind of thing.
You can't say I tell you.
I know. And so, but I would love to go again. If I win Powerball, we're all going to go every year, So
before we get too far away from this, I have to say it is dragon fruit,
not bad,
lemon, strawberry, banana.
Ooh.
And those are the flavors of your sparkling mushroom elixir.
I was with you until that last part.
Well, they're very proud of that.
I'm a big fan of.
Same.
But yeah, I did mushroom elixir. That just no. Let's see here. Dralistico is now all elite.
Good for him.
Got that going for you.
Never.
And they did announce last night that the show in Arlington winter is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that mean this town has hosted every one but one, or have we hosted all of them?
I think it's all but one. Because I believe, are we putting a big asterisk on the pandemic because there was a winter is coming in Jacksonville during that time?
I would put an asterisk on that one because they wouldn't have had a choice anyway.
Okay, so I don't know if the Metroplex, not necessarily I didn't want to be overly magnanimous, but the Metroplex has hosted all of them except that one or one more.
You talking winter is coming?
Yeah, winter is coming.
Okay, let me do a double check.
We had the original because that's where Sting showed up for the first time.
I believe that was Jacksonville.
I thought it was here.
I'll need to fact check that one. Don, you keep going on the locations.
You were there. I was not.
Okay.
I was booked that night. And I was like, well, that's a thing. Because I could have sworn that was 2019. Well, maybe not because he wasn't on the cruise. Because if he was all elite at that point, he would have been on the cruise, right?
Very likely.
Okay.
Yeah, that was 2020. That was in Jacksonville.
Okay, fair enough. We have a new power couple.
Do we?
And I'm very uncomfortable with it.
Oh, I think I know which one you're referring to. I'm going to step for just a second.
All right.
Shit, power couple.
Don, do you know who Elisa Atut is?
No.
She used to work with MLW. She might still, for all I know.
Okay.
They did an angle where she was a ring announcer and an interviewer. She wasn't any ring talent. But when we went to the MLW taping here, they filmed an angle where she turned on Alex Hammerstone because in real life she was dating his former tag team partner, Richard Holiday.
Okay.
Richard Holiday, who went through some rough health issues. Richard Holiday, who was also in a stable with Alex Hammerstone and MJF.
Okay.
MJF puts up a tweet yesterday. Alex.
Don't forget Gino. Gino is in that at the end.
Right, but that's kind of tangential to where I'm going.
No, I just wanted to clarify for completeness in case anybody's questioning that we missed something.
So MJF puts up a tweet yesterday morning listing all the people he's defended his title against and how he's going to be relaxing. There's a picture of him laying in bed with a cat and what appears to be a woman's face, where he labels as kitties and pirate hookers. Alicia Atout responds to that as a toot, whatever it is, responds to it and says, ahoy. So alleging that the two of them are now together.
Okay. MJF in this. Okay.
Who was formerly with his stablemate. This is weird to me.
So you mean like they were real life dating now? Okay.
They confirmed it.
So now she dated one guy. Now she's going to the next guy. Now she's to the third guy.
No, there's only two.
Oh, only two. Okay. All right.
Holiday and MJF. Hammerstone was just part of the group. And then
so it's kind of like if she was dating, no offense, Big E, and now she's dating Kofi, basically.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Beautiful girl.
Okay.
It's just weird for me. But if everybody's cool with it, God bless you, live your life. It's just weird for me.
Yeah.
Well, there actually has been some intimation that Holiday and Atout were purely on screen.
See, I hadn't heard that. I had heard that it was off screen too because of everything that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that angle when they shot it and Alex and I were there, it was great. It was very well done. It went on forever.
Yeah, it did.
But
well, not to mention we were also there for MJF's last day in in MLW.
Mm-hmm. I am taller than MJF. Let's get into Dynamite. It is November, which means it is Men's Health Awareness Month, which is why I look a little different than I normally do. This is day 5. I have not taken my day 5 picture yet. For those of you joining us for the first time, in November, I do grow my beard out as part of Men's Health Awareness Month. I do not do the neck beard. It's a little too much for me. I do go through my progress. You can follow me on your social medias at Yes That Rob Irvin. You can see how this thing works out. It's not a great beard, but I do it every year. I think this is my 7th or 8th year doing it. The reason I tell you that, because I'd like to talk to Adam Cole.
Baby.
I thought me without facial hair was odd. Him with facial hair is even weirder.
Well, the problem is that he is a tiny looking human with very narrow eyes, not an insult, just facts. But because we've seen him look a particular way, he looks like he's wearing a fake beard.
Yeah, it looked weird. Hashtag a new ROH 6-man tag champ. So let's just turn the Bucks heel again.
Well, I like the idea that we are breaking down the Elite. I'm good with that. Because, as we've said multiple times on this show, slight issues with people whose names are in the company and kind of getting their way at every turn feels strange.
Yeah. But what have I said from the beginning? It does not need to be all Elite Wrestling. So, Jericho and Omega are the Golden Jets. Adjust your roster accordingly.
Golden Jets.
I love that name, though.
They're both from Winnipeg, Don.
Oh, okay. All right.
And anything Kenny Omega does is golden something.
Okay.
Sky Blue and the Blue Mist was a nice swerve. I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually intrigued as to where this is going, given what happened on Rampage or Collision, one of the two. It all blends together on Saturdays for me.
That it does.
Plus the fact that I had a very busy agenda yesterday, and so I had to watch SmackDown up until Crown Jewel started, and then 2 hours of Crown Jewel, and then come back and finish SmackDown and watch Rampage, and then finish Crown Jewel, and then watch Collision. It was, thank God for the time change, because I got an extra hour. And just for reference, Billy Gunn is 60 years old. I can't wrap my brain around this.
Depends on which part you're taking issue with. How long he's been around or his shape.
I don't have issue with it. It's just mind-boggling. That dude is 60.
And he could go for a 60-year-old. Let's be honest. He could still get in the ring.
He can go for anybody.
Yeah,
I mean, it's you don't have to qualify it.
They had a match last night.
Yeah. I mean, there's some wrestlers when they turn 40, 45, 47, watch out. They don't look like they did, but he could go like he's like 35. Give it to the guy. I do.
No, I got no issue with it. It just is mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of quick New Japan notes. Wrestle Kingdom 18 coming up in January. It is now official. Bryan Danielson will take on Okada. That will be
like
fun.
how they're selling that, though. And now that they have like no brief on the promos where Danielson can just say what he wants to say, what he thinks will sell, that dude knows the business better than maybe anybody now. Hell, he knows when to go ridiculous when it's best. He knows when to go hard after the violence factor. You broke my arm, now you broke my face. I'm going to break everything come January 4th. Perfect.
I just need them to decide which side of the fence the BCC is going to be on. Are they heel? Are they face? It seems to change by the week.
Well, but that's also because the idea is that they, rather than just being tween, they are as they face. They're going to be what they're going to be. They don't adhere to your labels, kind of thing. I'm okay with.
I am looking forward to the ROH television title match on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Who wants to say the Big E line?
I think everybody knows it. And they'll probably say it a bunch during that match, but that's going to be an amazing match between two amazing humans that I'm a huge fan of.
I figured Don would want to say it. That's why.
Let me ask you, you were talking about Danielson. He said, a few weeks back on the show that he's like retiring within a year. Do you think that's legit, or is that going to be a 3-month Ric Flair retirement?
No, I think it's the thing. If you know anything about Bryan Danielson, the guy he's not one to go back on his word.
Yeah.
I also raise his family while he can still walk.
I also think that there's a genuine part of it that's not going to be a full-blown retirement, if I may, because he is running Collision. So I wonder if he will be retired in ring, but will be an AEW executive. So he shows up, as needed.
That wouldn't surprise me. And that would, to me, that qualifies, and I'm good with it.
Mm-hmm.
And Sonata is now the longest reigning IWGP heavyweight champion ever. 212 days, passing Shingo Takagi. I'm sorry.
Now, to clarify, that is just the newest belt they have.
Correct. Once they unified that with the Intercontinental.
Yeah, I feel like Okada had 3 different heavyweight championships longer than that.
Yeah. A couple of notes from Impact. I did not watch it because it was just highlights from Glasgow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not. They should be back to abnormal this week, I do believe, because they had to show Turning Point on Friday night, which was a 1-week delay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they'll be back to normal this week. But I'm not going to waste an hour and a half of my life on a highlight show.
Yeah, it's not worth it at that point.
Impact agenda that day, and I didn't want to be any farther behind than I needed to. But they did have Gut Check UK that was won by Harley Hudson, who is very highly spoken of in the industry. And Hard to Kill has its first official match as Trinity will defend the Impact Knockouts title versus friend of the show in tangentially because we like her, Jordan Grace.
I believe they announced another one.
Did they?
Just a moment. I do apologize for the stop down.
No, not a problem. I will say in the meantime, we talked about Samoa Joe just a moment ago. He is now the longest running ROH television champion ever.
And the most deserving, in my opinion.
So he has a record now. That's cool.
For a show that was an hour and 52 minutes long on Thursday night, and I have no other notes on. I think they taped it before Collision, but I can't verify.
Oh, I just realized they announced the Hard to Kill venue, which I had not seen before.
Oh, that's right. You weren't on the show last week. We actually announced that.
Yeah, I may wind up getting let's call it some invitations. So I will keep people posted.
All right, fair enough. Rampage, we talked about Bryan Danielson. He does actually have a broken orbital bone, so be aware of that. Go ahead, Alex.
The other match is Alex Shelley versus Moose for the World Championship.
We've seen better hard to kill matches in person with both of those guys in separate matches.
But it is announced he's cashing in his Feast or Fired briefcase.
So how do you think of Shelley as the champ, though? I mean, he's always been known great tag team, Motor City, Machine Guns, all that, blah, blah, blah. Him being the champ by himself, do you like that? Or would you think that was a good idea, or would you have gone with something else?
It's on par for Impact.
Okay.
It's earned. It's deserved. I don't know that I like it. Just because I look at Alex Shelley and I don't see, like, if I can put it in a context for you for video game concepts, your final boss should be otherworldly. There should be you beat this person, you are it. I don't see Alex Shelley in that vein, but I don't know who in that company would be.
I just thought of something.
Go for it.
If that is your main event to Hard to Kill, we are going to get Final Resolution, which they haven't given us the dates or anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
If that's your match for Hard to Kill, that would tell me that Alex Shelley will be the last ever Impact Wrestling champion, because that match will be for the TNA World Heavyweight title.
It's already going to be the case because it's being listed as TNA Hard to Kill.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is it already is.
Right, but what I'm saying is that means he's not defending at Final Resolution. If he was defending at Final Resolution, you'd have a little bit of maybe there'll be one more champion. Now we know for a fact Alex Shelley is the last Impact World Champion, unless you swerve me, and I'm okay with that.
Right. That's what I was going to say once given space. It's like there's always the possibility that something changes.
But as it stands, the only thing I have from Rampage is one guy had a sign in the crowd that just said, "I'm on acid." That made me giggle.
That's funny.
Interestingly enough, the only note I had on Rampage was, is this the first hour of Nitro?
Pretty much.
With the way they opened.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed it. But then again, I've always been a big fan of Penta and Luchadors and everything that goes into it. But I was genuinely feeling like, where's Eric Bischoff and where are his fingerprints on this?
I do like that Frenchie's at the desk, though, because they've gotten him back at the desk, because since there's no more dark elevation, that's what he was doing.
Well, we're going to have to put a pin in that.
Well,
because we're not there yet.
Are we there?
Wasn't it Collision?
No.
That was
all of it's running together. I had to watch all of it yesterday.
Announcing him in that match was on Dynamite.
Okay. The Golden Jets and Jericho.
At this point, yeah.
I know you like Frenchie, but do you think he's a good announcer overall with the team? He's a good mix in there?
I like Frenchie because he's not trying to be anything but Paul White.
Okay.
He's giving good analysis. He's not trying to be anybody else. Like, he's not trying to be over the top Frenchie. He's just Paul White talking about what he sees.
He's not Nigel trying to be the heel. He's kind of like Taz.
Nigel's not trying. He's succeeding.
He's just that good.
Well, Taz is just tells you like it is, no doubt, blah, blah, blah. He's got in that same realm, you'd probably say.
Taz, I can see what you're saying.
There's still a level of bit to it. With Frenchie, it's that whole no gimmick needed thing that he's done for you, which I like. SmackDown, congratulations to Carl Anderson and his wife, and I won't describe her the way he does. They have welcomed their 5th son into the world. All boys still. Coast Rocky Allegra.
That sounds right.
Yeah. And mark your calendars for February the 2nd on the Hulu, now completely owned by Disney.
Yep.
Love and WWE, Bianca and Montez. All the episodes will hit at one time.
And we knew something was coming. There had been discussions of it in various forms. Here it is.
SmackDown notes. Remember, kids, this was the second part of a double taping so the crew could get overseas.
Mm-hmm.
So I do wish, since Roman opened that show, or since LA Knight opened the show, Roman should have interrupted his entrance, much like it happened reversed the week before. But,
you'd have to move faster to interrupt somebody. LA Knight would have already finished the talking segment.
And then I went, a weigh-in?
Yeah.
Why do you want a weigh-in for the U.S. title? There's I didn't know there was a weight limit for the U.S.
And the one thing I noticed, since it was a tape delay because going to the Middle East there, when they start beginning and it shows brought to you by Progressive and that thing with the robot in the air, there was no city listed. Usually they always put the city, like we're in Des Moines or we're in Philadelphia, we're in Miami. They never listed the city on that.
The weird part is they have before.
What's that? What?
They have before when they've done a double taping. I didn't notice it this time, but good call.
I didn't notice it either.
But somebody didn't clue. I can't remember who it was.
Oh, I have the note if you would like.
Somebody didn't get clued, and they were like, "Oh, for his Halloween costume." They're like,
I have that note.
Who was it?
It was Austin Theory talking about he's not going to need makeup for his Halloween costume. And the best part about it was the moment they cut outside, Michael Cole going, Halloween already happened.
Yeah. I love this version of Michael Cole.
You mean the IDGAF Michael Cole?
Yeah. Nope. No caring. Here we go. KO with the new augmented reality.
Yes.
I dug it very much.
Don't know how I feel about the new shirt, though.
Yeah. And that
Donnybrook is iconic to me.
That Donnybrook match had one of the cleanest table breaks I have ever seen in my entire life.
That Elton Strong moment was ridiculous, and I don't know why I loved it.
I haven't seen a table that blatant since Public Enemy used to come out, where they would tape the WCW logo on the table, so they tried to hide.
So you didn't see the gimmicking. Yeah,
I was like, that folded like a piece of paper. That was terrible.
Well, and I like how they set it up, and it's like everything is a barrel, everything is a bottle. Oh, there's a bar. Oh, it's more bottle. Okay.
AEW Collision notes, and I'm going to ask this again. Don and I talked about this a little bit last week, and Alex, I think I want your input, especially after Collision. I've asked it before, and I will ask it again. Where does Dalton Castle belong? Because I don't have an answer. It's like I see him on ROH and I'm like, ah. And then I see him on AEW and I'm like, ah.
You know, you're not going to like my answer, or you're going to love my answer.
Go ahead.
He belongs as a part of Thor Ragnarok, but it's too late for that.
Also true.
But I genuinely feel like Dalton Castle is that middle ground. He's kind of beyond ROH in what they're trying to do, more gritty, sports-like aspect, but he's not quite to the level of being a main contender on Dynamite. My thought process is you fit him into a TBS title era. Like, he's a mid-carder on AEW and will be the most entertaining part of it. But we're also going to throw him in matches with Danhausen and just be entertained for 10 minutes if they get it.
That bit last night broke me. With RJ City.
Yes.
She just walking by, not ready yet. Okay. Oh, that was so brilliant. I want to give AEW a gift, even though it's a little bit late for it now.
A present.
A present. Can't wait for that movie Thursday night.
Hold on, Don. Could you pull this knife out of my back? No, I'm kidding.
Are you not going?
We'll talk off air. That's not for the show.
If they really wanted to sell the 69 thing, the Acclaim should have lost the titles last night, which then resets the clock. Then they'll get them back on Dynamite, have them for 69 days, then lose it again. Then on the next show, get them back for another 69 days, etc., etc., etc. If you want to sell this bit, that's how you do it.
Rob, I want to tell you something that I don't normally say.
That I'm a genius?
I hate you so very, very much.
Oh, you mean this one right here?
No, not
so much.
No. The very, very mellow Docism of I hate you so very, very much.
So you are to Doc as I am to LA?
Precisely.
Don't be mad because you didn't think of it.
Oh no, I'm not mad because I didn't think of it. Remember, I'm the one that wants less acclaimed on my TV. So this would make more acclaimed on my TV.
I still can't believe that you could buy that belt for $5,000.
I can believe it.
It's only $5,000.
And it's you get a personalized version of that belt that's $5,000.
Why do I hear extra clicking on Don's side?
In what could be the funniest moment of the week.
Babe?
Did you catch a promo that Shivani did during the show for another show on TBS?
I think I missed this.
When he tried to promote Wipeout, it completely threw me off. Because remember, it is late last night when I am watching Collision. And hearing Tony Schiavone say the name of John Cena completely freaked me out. But he sounded like there was a turd under his nose when he did. Like he didn't want to say John Cena's name. It was just like, John Cena and Nicole Byers star in this new season of Wipeout here on TBS. Like he acted like he was full on forced to do it. It was,
I feel like there's a genuine part of him that may have been forced into it because Excalibur had to make a run.
That it was just, God, it was funny. Because it was just like, oh, and it's like, if you're Shivani, like you are the guy that did the Mick Foley thing. So
also true. But that, to be fair, that wasn't Shivani's call.
I know, but his
voice did deliver it.
His voice is on it.
But it's one of those where it's like, I wish he would have said, I'm told John Cena hosts, but I haven't seen him.
We are 13 days away from MLW Fightland, and there's been a couple more matches added to that card. Matt Cardona versus Mance Warner in a loser leaves MLW match.
So we know who's losing that.
Yeah, and a triple threat tag team match, which doesn't appear to have anything on the line. Wasted Youth versus Austin Luke and Lucky 13 versus Main Event.
Well, there's so much flux in that roster right now.
You got really out of focus just now. And I'm wearing
I see it. That's weird.
There you go. Now you're good.
All I had to do was back up.
Autofocus on a laptop is a very strange thing.
Well, it's not on my laptop. Remember, I have the tripod.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. One quick note from WoW. Goldie Collins. Remember that name. Keep an eye on that one. She is a brand new wrestler to that promotion. She's working a bit where she's like a show dog trainer.
So she's best in show.
She's got skills though. They did a vignette with her. One of the best WoW vignettes I think I've ever seen. She can cut a promo and she's got skills in the ring. Her debut match was against Candy Crush, and that was a good match, which you can't really say a lot about WoW right now. Plus, I'm probably the only one that watches it. So
I used to.
Still no new episodes of Reality of Wrestling. I don't know what they're doing, but I know that they had a TV taping last weekend, so hopefully we'll have some new episodes soon. All right, boys, let's talk about yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Rob's kind of...
Yeah, I think it might be Rob.
He's trying to talk.
He is moving very slow. This is our super slow-mo camera.
Yeah, I think we're all back now.
Well, your audio is back. You are still pensive.
You guys, and I can hear you.
Now you're breaking up again.
Is slowing down. Oh, I think we're back.
All I heard was slowing down. Okay, there's the audio being clean. Still pensive.
Okay, but you have me, right? You can.
We have the audio. We can hear you.
We can hear you.
All right, let me see if I can
now
turn
I'm wondering
off
if he can hear us.
I can hear you guys.
Okay.
Let me stop the camera. Start the camera again. Nope, I'm still frozen.
Still pensive.
All right, so I'm going to stop my camera and we'll just talk about this way through it.
Okay.
Crown Jewel was yesterday. This thing ran 4.5 hours without the pre-show. which is nuts. Yeah. And when I watched, let me see, am I back yet? Nope, I'm still not back.
Nope.
Okay. I'm just gonna do the rest of the show like this.
Sounds good.
When I watched the first 2 hours and then I had to leave, got to see some friends of mine I haven't seen in 35 years, and had a wonderful time yesterday with Phil and Shannon and Jason and Sally and Julie and John were all there. But when I came back home to finish it, I had to start over and fast forward.
Because it was into the replay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and then I forgot to do the math, and then I went too far, so then I had to go back. The only match, I stopped at was the Bianca Belair match. So I had 3 matches to watch still.
Oh, the match where you can say your favorite line about the show?
We'll get there. Yeah. I did like the Tron of the Jewel above the ring. I thought that was really neat.
I'm very conflicted on that one. I thought it was creative, but I didn't quite like it.
I did like the swerve in the first match with Sammy. Very much enjoyed that.
To clarify, you were referring to the
theft of the briefcase.
Yes. Well, but to clarify, Sammy was in the first match on the kickoff.
I remember I said earlier in the show I did not watch the pre-show.
Which is why I was clarifying that.
I'm sure LA did not like that show in any way, shape, or form, because a Hall of Famer did the ring announcing, thus showing more of his versatility and how good he is, and why Byron Saxton is a Hall of Famer.
I genuinely wanted to ask you about that when we started watching, but it was so late I didn't want to text at that hour.
I'm assuming Rhea was doing Eric Draven.
So there is some level to that. I believe she was doing extra makeup to cover up piercing areas because that's a thing there. Because if you'll notice, all of the piercings that remained in were either translucent or incredibly minimal because of the makeup. I think it was just more let's splash, but there was definitely some Draven in there.
All right. I'm going to let you guys start. If you have any opinions on this match to start talking about it, I need to step away for about 20 seconds.
Okay. Honestly, and Don, I'd love to hear your input on this one. I felt like this was almost a throwaway match where they were saying we can get X number of women in a match in Saudi Arabia, but there wasn't anybody winning that but Rhea. How do you feel about knowing the outcome?
Here's the thing. I saw the outcome of it. I did not watch the plea. I'm just going to say for reasons. Okay. For reasons.
No. I respect that. I was purely asking about the
no.
The participants being foregone.
Before when we're going to talk to it, I'm going to say is for reasons which we don't get into in the show. I did not watch it, so I did see some after things of what happened. I guess what Rhea retained.
Yes,
and there's only one title change. If I think was that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, which I think they'll get into later.
Mm-hmm.
And all I'm gonna say is, did Roman lose the title? No.
It was the same. It was every match was basically exactly what you'd expect for a house show.
Yeah. What did one of Roman's friends get involved? I mean, one of his family members.
2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Depending on what you consider Paul Heyman, 3.
Well, yeah, 3. But yeah,
but it was a fun match. I mean, but for specifically what I wanted to ask was about like the multi-women match for that aspect, because we know Zoe Stark's not winning. We know Shayna Baszler's not winning. We know Nia Jax very unlikely to win. Raquel Rodriguez unlikely to win. And I'm starting to get a little, and I'm going to borrow a Robism because I don't know if he's back yet.
I am.
Okay. But to borrow the Robism, it's where's the chase and how can we cut to it?
I want to apologize to the audience just in case. I hit the mute button on StreamYard, and what I realized a couple of weeks ago is I'm thinking when I do that, it mutes you guys out to the listeners. So you may have dropped out for about 5 seconds. And then I unmuted myself and just turned the volume on my mic down.
Oh, that's fine.
Because I'm thinking if I mute it in StreamYard, it mutes all of us. So I do want to go back a little bit. I did not understand Rhea's entrance.
Yeah, I'm not saying the joke I made on a live feed. So if you want that, you can come find me at Vexploit.
Weird.
Yeah, very.
But I thought it was a great match. I did like the moment where Shayna had 3 different women in submission opportunities.
That was cool.
That was awesome. And it is well documented on this show that we respect Zoe Stark, but we're not huge fans. Shout out to the camera person that did the bit where she basically was diving over the camera and the camera followed her all the way over. That was dope.
Okay. At that moment, I genuinely looked at Sean and I said, I don't know if that was a mistake or if they're testing something out so they can stop doing the Bruce Pritchard zooming.
If it was, I'm here for it. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was either a brilliant pivot by the camera person or a really cool idea. Either way, it's a win.
And now I want to see it done the way Charlotte does hers.
With the twisting moonsault? Yeah. Oh, you know who we're going to get that from next, though, that would be fun, too? Ricochet.
I'm here for it. Sikoa Cena made no sense.
This was literally giving Sikoa a marquee name to have beaten. Because we're still protecting him for later to be a main eventer.
Right. And the only thing that it did was to demonstrate the resilience of Cena because he took so many Samoan spikes before he was pinned.
Yeah.
But
it felt awkward.
And I still don't understand why we had to do Miz TV.
Oh, we had to do that because of the Saudi actor being involved.
But it was already 4.5 hours. That should have.
If you pay $1 billion a year, you're getting as much time as you want.
Also fair.
So let me ask you this: You're saying it was kind of awkward there with Cena. What was more awkward, the Cena thing or Hobbs just demolishing Jericho like that?
But that's not the first time
Cena thing.
Jericho this year. Action in ready, anybody?
Yeah. Okay, I forgot about that one. Just he got his butt handed to him. I thought that was kind of weird.
But that's kind of where Jericho's at in his career is he can put guys over and it doesn't diminish who he is.
Okay. He is in the exact same vein as Cena was in this match. He's putting over the younger talent as look how impressive this person is. Now, for the way Jericho did it, we have established Hobbs as being a badass. So it kind of suits. We've also established Sikoa, but the way we did it was just a mugging of Cena, and it just felt uncomfortable to linger on Cena as if this was his retirement.
And so we're clear, we're all fans of Solo Sikoa. Have been since NXT.
100%.
Looking forward to where the road goes with him. Logan Paul's quote, I may not be the greatest of all time, but I am the greatest of all prime. We now go live to Boulder, Colorado for thoughts on that.
Well, that would be the greatest prime, not the greatest of all prime.
I'm sure the argument could still be made.
Depends on how big the check is. Let's be honest. That's Dion's MO.
Oh, okay. All right, never mind. I get now.
I did notice that Ray did have the cross on his mask.
I did notice that as well. And I was like, ooh.
However, they did have the normal video entrance. But if you looked at the jewel above the ring, it was a blank. I'm pointing like you guys can see me.
Right.
It was a blank. I'm now John Cena for the rest of the show. It was a blank spot on the mask.
Well, it actually kind of played for that aspect on the Jeweltron because all of it was minimalist. All of it was two-tone minimalist, so it was easier to remove the cross there. But if you notice on the video board, it was also cutting off. So it was only the bottom of the cross in there. So when he showed up with it on the mask proper, I was very surprised.
But I think it's the bottom of the mask is always on the Tron that way, though.
But that's what I'm saying is I don't know that. I thought that it was the whole mask more exposed.
And I thought it was great. Escobar in the yellow sweater was a telegraph. I think we all know where that's going.
And okay, Wade Barrett got me on one during that match as well.
Go ahead.
Because he starts off with referring to Ray as the second greatest masked or the second greatest luchador. And I was like, ooh, he's going to give El Santo credit. And then he did the Dominic thing. And I was like, that's bad news.
Hashtag a new U.S. champ. Meh.
This is a smart move for the company. I know it's an unpopular one, but it's a smart move. And I'm going to say something that might break both of your brains. Logan Paul is this generation's John Cena. Allow me to reiterate. Adults and marks, it was John Cena sucks. And kids loved it. Despite levels of talent and presentation, Logan Paul has been light years ahead, obviously with training from Hurricane and HBK, has been light years ahead and saved Ray's neck possibly during this match.
Yeah, that's true.
And has been light years ahead as a performer and an entertainer, as well as a sports entertainer, because let's be honest, his boxing has been that already. But the kids love him. The adults hate him. Ergo, Logan Paul is this generation's John Cena.
I can't agree with that. Like,
on principle,
I respect it. It's not. I will say the final analysis is not complete. I don't have enough data.
Okay.
But ask me in 6 months if my mind changes. To me, it's way too early in the game.
Oh, it's incredibly early, but there is a lot of breadcrumbs Cena shaped leading to Logan Paul right now.
And I would like to give homage to the second greatest announcer of all time for Alex's sake. Sky Pirates, Sky Pirates, Sky Pirates.
See, that's not the line I was expecting you to say. Your favorite line that I was alluding to earlier was somebody's watching the show.
Well, I originally had in headlines, is Kairi Sane coming back to the company? And then I had to delete it because it got answered. It took me a minute because she's gotten all the darker colors. I'm used to the pirate motif.
You're used to face Kairi.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I loved I love the fact that, first of all, Michael Cole made sure you knew the last time she was in WWE, she was getting beat down by Bayley. And then going the camera switching back and forth between the two of them in the ring and Bayley outside the ring. That to me was good television.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, I don't know if that truly came from Cole or if that was a call from Gorilla, but whoever did, absolute perfection.
But again, his voice is attached to it. Like, I'm pointing at this.
But I want to give credit where credit is as well. But have you seen the rumor regarding that tandem?
I have not, but we're over time, so we got to hurry up.
There's more coming on the Io Sky Kairi Sane side.
Okay.
And one of them is supposed to blow our wheels off. The other one we should be able to figure out. So I'm going to be very curious to see what kind of an iteration this group becomes.
I want you to write it down and put it in an envelope like Penn and Teller did at the Super Bowl when Tampa Bay won 2001. That was a cool thing that they did.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to talk about, gentlemen?
No.
I think we covered the week.
All right, let's do the plugs, then we'll take the break and get ready for the clubhouse. Oh, I love it when we skate at full strength. But I do want to say before we do this, Don, you did a fantastic job on both shows last week.
Oh, thank you.
I was very, very pleased. When we don't have Alex, it kind of takes away the dynamic a little bit. When one of us is missing, the dynamic changes. But I thought you really stepped up to the plate last week on both shows and overachieved.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
I do it for the kids.
That's my line.
Oh, okay.
Remember to check us out on all your social medias. Everything is The Cheap Popcast. All 3 words in that order. You will wind up somewhere else. You can follow me on all your social medias. Everything is Yes That Rob Irvin. That is spelled ERVIN.
And I can still see him pointing even without the image.
Hands on
so
the desk.
I know.
Hands are on the desk.
Or interrupt. So I am Vexploit on all social media. If you'd like to help out the show, please go to ProWrestlingTees.com and search for The Cheap Popcast. If you're watching right now, you can see the logo in your upper right corner. You'll be looking for that on the shop. If you happen to be an artist and have any suggestions or even adjustments you'd like to see to the multiple shirt designs with multiple color options, you can reach out to me at alex@theclubhousepodcast.com.
And that URL goes those awesome shirts that even make me look good. ProWrestlingTees.com/cheap podcast. And at Twitter, I'm at Bulu. IGBN UUU.
Rob, are you there?
Yeah. I just had to fix Don's byline because he's not on Twitter.
What? X.
Yeah. Formerly Twitter.
I still call it Twitter. I don't care. I'm going to call it Twitter. I'm going to be a rebel.
Well, be the cranky old man.
Yes, I am.
Get off my Twitter.
Yes, exactly.
That bird app.
You can send me an email if you like. Questions, comments, concerns. Tell me to go pound sand. Talk about your local promotion. It is rob@thecheappopcast.com. Charlotte Marshall is on Pinterest because we are morally obligated to say that. She actually texted me this morning, and I texted her back, and I think I hit the ender because I told she put up something about the Dolphin game this morning, and I returned my bit that the press still hasn't stolen yet, and she just sent me back the skull. Our normal shows Sunday nights 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific, your one-stop shop for all things professional wrestling. Next week we'll be back, but then we got to take some time off. We'll talk about that next week because God knows we can't do more than 4 shows in a row. So until next time, for Don, for Alex the Empire, I'm Rob. This has been the Cheap Popcast, top of the hour Clubhouse podcast. Until then, good night, everybody.